Hibernate, get cozy, and fall asleep in this 3-hour collection of 5 snowy bedtime stories for grown-ups. Edith Sitwell explained it best as she penned, "Winter is the time for comfort, for good food and warmth, for the touch of a friendly hand, and for a talk beside the fire. It is time for home." In the safe comforts of your home, now is the perfect time for a friendly voice to guide you through a collection of wintry sleep stories set in diverse landscapes. You may wish to take a moment to subscribe if you haven't already, so you may return to the series in the future. Winter is a time for hunkering down and going within. Sparkling snow falls with the promise of a fresh start. It offers a reflection of light on the darkest of days. It awakens the child within us all and gives us permission to slow down. You may drift from one story to the next, like a celestial snowflake gliding on the frosty air. From a cozy encounter in the coffee house to a chalet on a lake, from a snow-dusted sea wharf to a magical ice castle to a snowy island, embark on adventures that celebrate the joys of winter. Like a series of dreams, these tales will blend into one another, and you may tune in and out as you cross over the bridge to your sleeping life. You may skip ahead to the stories that most appeal to you, or you may enjoy a guided meditation before the stories begin. Choose what works best for you. It's time to dream away. I would like to welcome you to Michelle's Sanctuary. I am Michelle, and as you listen to my voice, think of it as the voice of an old friend who wants to remind you that you deserve to feel good and relaxed. Every night you may develop a sleep routine and spoil yourself with a mental vacation. You are empowered to use your imagination to self-soothe and get cozy. Snuggle up and sink deeply into your bed. In the sanctuary of your room and mind, you let down your guard. You are free to be all versions of yourself, cloaked in self-love and appreciation that you have made it through another day. Sigh out all the air in your lungs and sip in the night air. Fill your body and feel it expand. And then open your mouth into a generous yawn. Signal to your body you are tired and ready to stand down. And sigh. Let go. At your own pace, inhale again. Take in the deepest breath your body will allow. Yawn if it feels right. This time exhale through pursed lips and imagine that your breath condenses and blows away any thoughts or feelings you are holding on to, like snowflakes dancing through the darkness. You blow away each and every unneeded thought to make room for deep serenity and peace. Your breath returns to normal as the storytelling begins. The coffee house. On a snowy day, you find yourself nestled by a fire and seated in an overstuffed armchair, curled up like a cat. there is a snow globe on a side table that captures your attention. You lift the snow globe. Your hands cup the cool glass of the globe, and you slide them down the shiny, buttery mahogany wood base. You are soothed by the tactile sensation of the globe, comforted by its weight and its smooth, round edges. You gently shake the snow globe and watch the snowflakes float through glittery water before they land on the ceramic replication of a picturesque village. You rest the snow globe on your chest, and it rises and falls with your relaxed breaths. You run your fingers around the snow globe and feel a magnetic pull, inviting you into the world propped against your heart. You close your eyes, and suddenly you are inside the world of the snow globe. Your body feels light and free, relieved of the weight you may have been carrying in your waking life. You find yourself walking through the historic village in the snow globe. Lace-like snowflakes fall from the elephant gray sky and circulate with the grace of ballerinas on the chilly air. Your boots crunch on the fresh layer of pristine white snow. This sound marries the content voices of the townspeople going about their late afternoon. You wear a parka made of fabric in your favorite color, and a wool hat and knit scarf atop an oversized knit sweater and comfortable pants that keep you warm against the cold. Your plush socks and boots keep your feet dry, and in this attire you feel invincible and ready to weather the storm. Your hands are protected with soft wool mittens that are perfect for forming snowballs while keeping your hands dry. There is a pond in the center of the village that becomes a popular ice skating spot in winter. You watch the ice skaters relish the experience. There is a little boy on the edge of the pond, and he looks to you as he pauses for a moment. He wears a cornflower blue and ivory knit wool hat with ear flaps and pom-poms that dangle in the snowy breeze. He opens his mouth and catches snowflakes on his tongue, and with a mischievous grin, he encourages you to do the same. His beguiling smile enchants you, and it is a reminder of how fun it is to catch snowflakes. You look to the sky and feel the snowflakes fall onto your lashes and melt on your eyelids. They land on your cheeks and lips and tongue, and you taste the metallic frozen crystals that remind you of licking ice cream off a metal spoon. You cannot help but laugh. You look at the young boy, and he laughs as well. And then he takes off across the ice, darting around other skaters in a jubilant display of balance and speed. You stand still for a moment as a couple walks by with their happy dog. The dog's fur is coated with a layer of powdered snow that she shakes off while walking by, and you are captivated by the visual of the snow flying from her fur and landing on the slick, white-dusted cobblestone sidewalk. You resume walking and pass by a local library and craft store. You walk by a five and dime and small grocery store that sells locally made jams and bread and cheeses. The village is the kind of place where anyone can visit and feel welcome and part of the community. Everyone you pass offers a wave or subtle nod or smile, with a camaraderie that makes you feel safe. You walk past a ballet studio and watch as a class is taught by an elegant older woman. The students look at her in awe before mimicking her graceful moves at the bar. Their soft pink and black leotards and skirts move like brushstrokes of paint on a canvas, fluid and graceful. You continue past an art gallery and pause to reflect on the scenic and vibrantly colorful oil paintings that stand on brass easels beneath golden spotlights. The paintings capture nautical themes and changing seasons. They seem to glow in the light that's like rays of sun bouncing off ocean waves in the late afternoons of summer. You continue to the corner of Main Street and are drawn to a shop. There is a sign made of tangerine-hued neon light that reads the coffee spot. The shop is located in one of the oldest buildings in the town. At one point a feed shop, then a printing press, and then a soda shop, it is now an iconic cafe. You inhale the fragrant aroma of freshly baked pastries and the rich chocolate and smoky smell of roasted coffee beans. Windows wrap around the coffee house so customers may look out onto Main Street and the quiet residential side street that is strung with Victorian homes. You exhale and see your breath condense on the wintry air and decide to go into the shop to warm up. Your mittened thumb lands on the antique latch of the front door and presses down, and as you open the creaking old door, a wave of warm air rushes towards your face. You close the door behind you and listen as a silver bell rings above the entryway to announce your arrival. The gentle ring joins an orchestral sound, created from the sounds of spoons clinking against ceramic mugs held by customers, and another spoon clinking within a metal frothing pitcher held by a barista. The melody of voices in quiet conversations marries the whirling espresso beans being ground into a dark brown powder, and the sound of a crackling fire that burns brightly in a fireplace in the back of the shop. You approach the counter, waiting behind a customer dressed in a fuzzy hat and oversized fuzzy coat. You are captivated by its whimsy. Your attention turns to the display case that stores almond croissants and coffee cakes and oversized blueberry and chocolate chip muffins. You tune into the sound of a needle landing on a record and the soft and gentle crackle before an old Motown song begins to play. You walk to the counter and the barista meets you with a friendly greeting, and you feel as if you are being met by family. There is a familiarity that goes beyond this moment, and it feels as if you have been here before. You enjoy this dreamy sensation of déjà vu as you place your order. You watch as your drink is prepared, and then turn your attention to the flowing, rich, muddy brown liquids and a silvery metal canister that shoots out puffy white clouds of whipped cream. You watch as chocolate shavings and sprinkling cinnamon land on the white foam of a cappuccino that has been shaped into a perfect heart. The barista brings your drink to you in an oversized ebony mug with the word serendipity etched across it in metallic gold cursive lettering. You remove your mittens and place them in your coat pockets. As you reach to pay, the barista explains you have been taken care of by someone who waits for you in the back of the coffee house. Your brows furrow in surprise, and while grateful, you begin to wonder who could be waiting for you on this journey you didn't even see yourself taking. You balance the ceramic mug in your cold fingers and appreciate the feeling of warmth. Your face tingles as the heat of the shop relieves your skin of the numbness from the cold. You walk past a few cafe tables, past a writer toiling away on a laptop, and a couple that lean and snuggle against the window, caught up in their own little world. You walk into the sitting room in the back of the coffee shop, and it is quiet and still. You look to the fire that devours the logs that are piled high between the soot-covered brick of the fireplace. Two oversized velvet armchairs face the fireplace. They are deep and wide enough for more than one person. You see the silhouette of a head in one of the chairs and feel an instant connection and sense of ease before even knowing who it is. Your rubber-soled boots softly squeak on the hardwood floors where clumps of snowflakes fall and form small puddles. The sound grabs the attention of the person in the chair, and they turn their head and stand. And suddenly, the person awaiting your visit is revealed. This could be someone you have loved deeply in this life, someone who perhaps you have not seen in a very long time, but think of often. Or perhaps it is someone who you see often, but have been longing to devote more quality time with. Or perhaps this is someone from the past, representing a time in your life that was important and full of joy. Or maybe this is a person you would love to have in your life. Someone who opens all the beautiful colors and expressions of your imagination. They rise and walk towards you. They help you set down your warm drink on an artistic side table that is painted in broad, colorful strokes that flow like rainbow tendrils. Everything about this coffee house has intricate details of color and art and beauty. You remove your parka that is now covered in glassy droplets of melted snow and place it on the back of the chair. All the while you do this, you feel the warm and attentive gaze of your loved one. It feels like it has been so long since you have had such a deep connection, and since time has passed since you connected in this way. Yet at the same time, this bond is so strong it feels as if no time has passed at all. You feel love from this deep connection. The spontaneous smile that erupted on your face causes your cheeks to hurt in a pleasurable way. You make eye contact and pause for a second before going in for a big hug. You both linger in this embrace and feel your hearts come together. It feels so good to be squeezed in this special hug, a hug you have waited for longer than you realized until this moment. No words need to be spoken, as your eyes and their eyes convey it all. Your loved one grabs your hands and squeezes them, warming them up and chasing away the cold that lingers from the walk in the snow. You walk around the velvet armchair. It is a rich sapphire blue, like the deepest ocean waters, and you rest in it. It conforms to your body with the softness of a wave. You settle in and feel the warmth of the fire on your face and on your feet. Your companion joins you in their seat, and you study their face now cast in an amber glow. You know this face as well as your own. You can read this face like a book, sensing every thought and feeling to arise before it is ever fully expressed. And you love knowing this special person may read you just as well. It feels good to be understood. The fire crackles and pops, louder and more pronounced than the soft crackle of the vinyl album playing throughout the cozy coffee house. And you find yourself letting out all the thoughts and feelings that you have held deep within. They flow out of you in rapid succession, and it feels like a purge. With every revelation, you are met with love and encouragement and support. And your loved one shares as well, opening up with candid, open-hearted energy. Stories are retold of the best of your memories from days gone by, or stories about the dreams of things you wish to come. And the luminous orange gold flames flicker and grow tall as they lick the soot-covered brick walls. The translucent fire becomes like a cinema screen made of clover honey, and these stories play out before you as if projected from the movie reels of your mind and your shared imagery. Like watching old home movies, you are entranced by this magical moment, and you become the observer, hovering in the coffee shop and watching you and your loved one watch the memories unfold, like a dream within a dream within a dream, like a memory within a memory. You take a sip of your warm drink and feel the smooth, creamy beverage cascade down your throat and fill your stomach. You relish the outside warmth of the fire and the warmth you feel on the inside. Hours pass by like layers in a montage of healing conversations and silent exchanges. You feel more like yourself than you have felt in a very long time. Your head rests on the back of the chair and you sink into it. Like a pearl nestled in an oyster shell, you enjoy the plush support of the chair. The coffee house empties, and you and your loved one are the last to remain. The snow continues to fall, and the dark of night sets in. Out of compassion for the employees who are now ready to close down, you both rise to leave. You slowly bundle up again, preparing for the cold. You wrap your scarf around your neck and put on your parka, now dry from the heat of the fire. Your lungs feel relaxed and your heart at ease. This feeling of content exhaustion that comes from hours of joy and laughter. Your loved one is dressed for the cold as well, and gently rubs your back in a circular motion. It feels nice, and you relish the safety and intimacy that you feel. It's a feeling that has developed over time. You hear the sleeves of your parka softly rustle against the back of the velvet chair in a soothing shush as you leave the back of the coffee house. You follow your loved one towards the door and brace for the cold. The door opens, and in a dreamy haze, you are suddenly refreshed by the rush of snowflakes and the winter wind. You smile and set out into the night. The snow is as high as your knees and continues to fall in wet and heavy flakes. It swirls around you on a brisk wind, and your nose and cheeks tingle. Main Street is now quiet, before an occasional car that passes by with headlights that illuminate the sparkling, falling snowflakes and tires that crunch on the salted roadway. You hear the dull sound of a snowplow scraping a side street. The percussive patters of salt and sand spread on the roadway remind you of a jazz brush on a snare drum. Your companion bends down, and in the glow of a street lamp, you watch them gather snow and form a snowball. And you too do the same when your companion launches the snowball in your direction, and you feel the soft hit against your back. You finish perfecting your snowball in your wool mittens and dust off and pat down the fluffy snow. You bring your arm back and feel your muscles stretch and shoulder release. You playfully launch the snowball towards your companion. You laugh, and so do they. You feel carefree and unencumbered. Your companion comes and links arms with you as you walk towards the residential part of the village. Picket fences line the street, and small cottages are lit from within by incandescent light and roaring fires in their fireplaces. You see the swirling black trails of smoke from chimneys. The pristine white snowflakes dance on the smoke and contrast the dark plumes. You inhale the smell of clean snow and burning wood as you turn on an unpaved lane that leads to your cottage. The village has the quaintness of a storybook town. The historic cottages and bungalows are coated in snow as thick as white icing on gingerbread homes. Your beloved indicates it's time to say goodbye, as they must return home as well. You feel the hope that you will see one another again, and they embrace you in a strong hug that you continue to feel even after it ends. You watch them walk through the canvas of white, weaving in and out of the shadows and golden light of the street lamps until they are out of your view. You grab the picket fence door with your mittened hand and undo the latch with your other hand. The door drags a bit against the snow, and you walk the pathway to your storybook cottage. You walk up the stone steps towards a porch, painted in your favorite color. There is a wooden rocking chair covered in a coating of snow. You often rock in the chair in the warmer months, and looking at it reminds you that this wintry moment is but a season that will pass. You stomp your feet on a doormat and then open the door to the cottage and step into the foyer. You are greeted by a furry companion who runs against your damp pants and wet boots. Your pet is so delighted by your return that the melting snow does little to stop their enthusiasm. You hang your coat and scarf and place your mittens into the pockets of your parka. The room smells like cinnamon and sweet dry wood from a wood pile that sits in a basket in the foyer. You take a couple of logs and tuck them beneath your arms, then head to the living room to start a fire. You grab a lighter from the mantel and watch it ignite the kindling in the fireplace. Your pet dutifully sits nearby and watches you with adoring eyes, rubbing its furry body against your feet and rolling over in a state of bliss. You add one log and then another to the fire and watch as it burns slowly and then fully catches. In the glow of the fire, you retreat to the couch and your pet jumps onto the sofa to snuggle. You cover yourself in a soft plush blanket and feel your toes and legs, your torso and arms and hands, and face become warm. You rest your head on a mountain of throw pillows and sigh. Reflections of the day wash over you like a rippling wave of gratitude. The surprise encounter with your loved one was a reminder that something good and unexpected can come out of every day. You listen to your pet now sigh as well, and look into their loving eyes. And together you sink down, deeper and deeper into the comforts of the sofa, deeper into a state of relaxation. The snow pelts against the cottage windows, and the wind howls around the home. Sparks fly up the chute, traveling on the draft towards the chimney, and then towards the night sky. The wood crackles and pops, and your mind drifts towards sleep. You feel toasty and warm and safe. You feel loved. You feel as if you could float across the passage to your sleeping life with the grace of a snowflake that surrenders to the winter wind as it drifts down, down, down. And you find yourself drifting towards a new story and adventure, or towards sleep if that calls to you. Chalet on a lake. There is a small lakeside village in Vermont where people go when they seek to reconnect with nature. The locals are kind and the scenery is tranquil. On a winter day, you find yourself walking through the woods on a snow-dusted path. You see your breath condense on the frigid air that smells of snow on the way. This magical fragrance is caused when the chill in the air slows down the movement of molecules and mutes all other smells. The clean metallic aroma brought in by the humidity is isolated. The smell conjures a romantic excitement and reminds you of hunkering down and relishing the purity and brilliance that snow brings in the darkness of winter. And when a fresh blanket of snow coats the landscape, it absorbs sound and makes for a quieter world. You listen to your feet land on the packed snow from earlier storms as you walk among barren and gnarly trees that were once full of green foliage and later a kaleidoscope of jewel tones at the height of autumn. And now, deep in the winter months, you still find the occasional fallen burgundy leaf that is trapped in the snow like a fossil. While the approaching snow makes the air smell clean, you can still catch a hint of pine that carries on the chilly breeze, and the smell of wood smoke from nearby villages. But for the occasional winter ice festivals, the village is sleepy this time of year, and you often see more animals on your walks than humans. You hear the soft patter of paws landing on frozen, decayed leaves, and look down the path to see a red fox. You recognize this cunning animal, and he recognizes you. For many years, you have left him food in the starkest and coldest months. Your relationship thrives on mutual respect. Each winter, you look forward to crossing paths and look out for one another as if distant neighbors. After acknowledging you, the fox scurries, and you continue on a shortcut to the general store. The first flurries begin to fall. You are grateful for the plush parka that has kept you warm against the harshest and coldest nights for several years. You wear a hat with ear flaps, knitted by a local older lady named Gloria, who sells these unique hats at the annual holiday festival. She knits hats throughout the year in preparation for selling out, and even then can barely keep up with the demand. The hat you now wear was custom made to fit you and knitted in your favorite colors. You think of Gloria's delicate, wrinkled hands that have been a source of love and nurturing for many people in this town. And the personal touch warms your heart to know that someone cared enough to create this for you. Up ahead, you see the rusty brown cabin serving as the local general store since before you were born. There is a carved wooden bear statue from which a sign hangs and reads General Store in bold print, with the words maple syrup, local cheese, and bait printed below it. It always amuses you to read the odd array of featured goods that have somehow become Vermont's novelty items. You walk up the shoveled path to the wooden porch that leads to the entrance. You stomp your boots to clear any snow before ascending the stairs. The shop is run by Martha and Ike, a happily married couple of 60 years, and the sounds of their comical bickering often becomes an attraction for locals and visitors alike. You enter the store and a bell rings, and even in her 80s, Martha's hearing is as sharp as her wit. She greets you by name and her eyes light up as she asks what you need to weather the storm. While quaint, the store carries everything from firewood to baking essentials to grocery items and snow boots, as well as items made fresh by Martha and Ike. The radio is playing softly in the background, and a weather report issues a warning that the blizzard will last into tomorrow and to expect at least 3 feet of snow. Martha sighs softly, and her sigh carries the sound of a woman who has heard reports and dealt with storms like this for more times than she can recall. You grab a few provisions, a few candles in case the power goes out, and some local cheddar cheese. Martha recommends the homemade soup, and rustic bread made early that morning. All of the food items are specially made to your preferences. You thank her and bring your items to the antique register as Ike comes over to ring you up. He looks to his wife proudly, with the slightest hint of a smirk that reveals he is always thinking something offbeat. Being around them always gives you joy. They are the kind of couple that exudes warmth and playfulness. Their loving chemistry can be recognized from afar and from the shortest of interactions. Ike packages your items in a brown paper bag and adds the purchases to your tab. As a regular, they send a monthly bill from the shop, always with a sweet handwritten card. You wish them well and tightly rewrap your scarf around your neck and face. The snow is falling more rapidly, and the wind seems to have picked up. They tell you to be safe and to call if you need anything. You know you never would, but you also know you could rely on them if it came to that. This kind of small-town charm warms your heart. It makes you feel part of something bigger than yourself, and that somehow you will always be taken care of. You exit and hear the silver bell ring again, slightly muted by the sound of the creaky door as it shuts behind you. You hear the sound of a sanding truck in the distance, the shuffle of sand on pavement and hum of the engine is soothing, and also a reminder that the storm is the real deal. It gives you a flurry of excitement, and your spine tingles, in part from the anticipation, and in part from the frigid temperature. Your face begins to tingle as you make your way across the main road and towards the lake. Ice skaters and cross-country skiers take advantage of the frozen lake, and a few glide across it before the storm arrives. Sky-like, the cornflower blue ice is dappled with wisps of white snow that look like cirrus clouds. The setting is serene, and nature adds the perfect final touch with pristine snowflakes that magically fall from the lavender gray sky. The perimeter of the lake is edged with evergreen trees that have a glistening layer of icy snow. As the snow continues to fall and a few inches accumulate, you notice the quietude setting in. All the white noise of the world is softened by the fresh white crystalline coating. And in the stillness, you hear the patter of snowflakes landing on your hat and parka. You hear your gentle breathing that becomes visible in small clouds. The sky is getting darker, and you shift the paper bag of goods to your hip, hugging it tightly against your body. You walk on the pebbled beach, where multicolored blue and tawny brown and seafoam green stones glisten like jewels beneath the iridescent patches of snow. You balance on them confidently, thanks to the thick rubber soles of your winter boots. You hear the soft hooting of an owl and pause for a moment. You look around, and then high atop a pine tree, camouflaged within the snow-covered boughs, you see a snowy owl. This beautiful bird of prey takes flight and gracefully soars through the falling snow. Her white wings blend into the landscape, and it is only because of their black dots that your eyes can discern the owl in flight. She circles and lands on a snow-covered boulder on the beach and looks at you with buttercup yellow eyes. Everything about this experience tunes you into the wondrous beauty that exists in this life. In folklore, a white owl represents transformation and inner wisdom. And winter is a time for us to collect ourselves in quiet moments, to go within and reflect. It is a season that comes with constant change and removes the guilt sometimes felt in modern society for taking it easy. A blizzard like the one on the way is a great excuse for hunkering down, for laying low and taking time to unwind. The owl disappears, taking flight, and you are reminded of your freedom. You can truly make choices that you never give much thought to. And perhaps tonight as you dream, you may allow these possibilities to inspire you. The wind blusters, and for the first time on this journey, you are feeling tired and longing for a return to the safety and warmth of your lakeside chalet. You walk along the beach, past neighboring cottages that are vacant during the winter months. During late spring, the families will begin to return and prepare for leisurely summer days. But while they are gone, you often check in on the homes and take pride in your role as winter guardian. The pebbled beach winds around into a private cove that contains a secluded beach where your chalet awaits. The dock is now frozen to the lake, and on some nights you will hear the soft crackle of the ice shifting. You follow stairs from the beach that lead to your chalet. Inspired by the architecture of the Alpines region, the chalet has eaves that are overhangs of the roof that allow water and snow to glide off with ease, and oftentimes long icicles will hang from these eaves. Made of wood, the decking has lattice-like details that make your Vermont home feel like a Swiss ski cottage. Windows look out on the lake, and even in the blustering snow, the back of the chalet looks as if it's made entirely of glass. You make your way to the deck and again climb the stairs, carefully counting each step as you ascend, and grateful that your boots grip the fresh coating of snow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Climbing the steps one at a time, you look out on the lake before you continue. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You arrive at the deck and pause to feel the snow melt on your face one last time. You then clear the snow from the glass French door and open it into the cottage. You hear the scamper of your pet coming to greet you as you set down the paper bag and remove your boots. The interior of the chalet is rustic and charming, with pops of your favorite colors throughout. The walls are made of pine, and the home always retains a sweet, woodsy aroma. Rustic beams hang overhead and are draped with tiny white lights that you turn on with a switch. They add a magical glow and charm to the room. You remove your boots as your pet tries to weave his furry head between your arms and knock you off balance. He cannot wait for your attention, and so you stop midway and ruffle the fur on his head and then give him a soft pat. Once your wet boots are removed, you slip your feet into a pair of slippers. To keep your socks dry from the small pools of melting snow, you remove your coat and scarf and hat and gloves and place them in a wardrobe closet in the open living area. Every single thing in the chalet has been selected by you over time and is custom to your tastes. These items represent your memories and your milestones. Contained are mementos and furnishings that you collected throughout your life. And when you consciously look around and take it all in, you feel the radiating waves of gratitude for all that you have created in this life, because you made this all so. Your pet is on your heels, and you are used to this living shadow that has followed you through all the seasons. But on snowy days like this, you most enjoy cuddling with your companion. You retrieve the paper bag and walk to the open kitchen that looks out onto the lake. The sky has darkened from lavender gray to smoky black, and snow now causes near whiteout conditions. You arrived at home just in time. You empty the contents of the paper bag and then bring the bag back to the living area. You walk to a black cast iron wood stove and pull on the silver spring handle to open the door. You rip and crumple the bag inside the stove. You grab a lighter that rests on a pile of logs in the wrought iron firewood holder. You flick the long neck lighter, and the paper catches on fire. It smells sweet and smoky. You place pieces of kindling in the wood stove as well. The fire grows quickly as the kindling is so very dry, and you soon add a log that catches too. You place your hands near the fire, and they tingle as feeling returns to them. Once warmed, you close the door and place your warm hands on your cold cheeks. You enjoy the sensation for a moment and then return to the kitchen. The wind howls outside and forms snowdrifts against the French doors. The lights flicker and cause you to anticipate the power going out. You take the candles you bought and place them in holders stored on a ledge behind the sink. You remove a saucepan from a rack and place it on the gas stove. You then take the container of Martha's soup and pour the contents into the pan. You turn the knob to light the burner and then use the burner flame to ignite the wicks of the 2 tapered candles, and then set them on an empty silver tray on the island. The flames flicker and bring a warm and cozy glow. You walk to the farmhouse sink that looks out onto the lake. Now you see only a white, opaque blur of snow. You turn on the hot water, and it slowly warms as you lather your hands with lavender soap. Bubbles form, and the water is the right temperature for rinsing them off. The soothing lavender smell lingers and calms you as you turn off the faucet and dry your hands on a soft linen towel. You remove the bread from its bag and place it on a wooden cutting board. You take a serrated bread knife from the knife block. You slice it through the crusty bread that smells as fresh as when it first came out of the oven. You turn on the back burner of the gas range, where a cast iron frying pan always rests, so it may begin to heat. You feel a heightened awareness of the tactile sensations of cooking now that your hands are warm and no longer numb. You open a white ceramic butter dish kept near the stove and feel how cool and smooth and heavy the lid is. You grasp the knife and cut it into the soft butter, then slather it generously onto the bread. It may just be food to some people, but at this moment, you are curating an experience, and preparing your food is like a meditative art. You take the local cheddar cheese and slice a few slabs as well, and place them between the slices of bread. Once complete, you carefully place the sandwich on the burner and let it become golden. Your pet is still at your feet, and you grab their pet food and fill a stainless steel bowl that sits on the floor. He hurriedly runs to the bowl, and you listen to his teeth excitedly crunching down on the dry food. Nurturing and caring for your dear companion always makes you proud to be able to provide these simple things. You return to the stove and flip your sandwich and turn off the burner to the soup. It is now steamy and hot, and you grab a ceramic soup bowl from the cupboard. You raise the saucepan and tip it so the thick soup cascades out of the pouring spout in a delicious stream. And you notice when you concentrate on the steam rising and the colorful soup rippling into the bowl, that the most mundane of moments in your life are full of beauty when you pay attention. The grilled cheese is complete. You turn off the burner and remove the sandwich from the pan. You place it on the cutting block and slice it diagonally. The melted cheese oozes out of the crispy golden brown bread. You take a textured ceramic plate from the cupboard and place your hot sandwich on it. You open a drawer and grab a spoon that you place in the soup before closing it. You take the bowl and plate to the silver tray and carefully find balance as you lift it and walk to the living room. Your pet follows eagerly in tow, and the lights begin to flicker before the power goes out completely just as you reach the living room. Your eyes take a moment to adjust to the ambient glow of the candles and wood stove fire. You place your silver tray on the rustic coffee table, purchased from a furniture shop located in a classic Vermont-style red barn. You curl your feet up under you and sink into the soft, plush chase of the sectional sofa. The cathedral ceilings are high and lofty and add a heavenly open space to the otherwise quaint chalet. You feel the contentment and deep sense of rest that comes after an active day. The kind of day when you cannot wait to put your feet up and let it all go. And right now, you do just that. You pick up the bowl and spoon the warm, silky soup into your mouth. You feel the liquid cascade down your throat, and it warms and soothes you within. This meal comes with comforting memories, going back into your youth. You alternate between soup and the grilled cheese, consuming them however you like, while your pet looks to you with loving eyes. After you finish eating, you rise and add a few more logs to the wood stove. You return to the chase and settle in. You rest your head back on the oversized throw pillows that have been collected through the years. You pull a crocheted chenille throw blanket from where it hangs on the back of the sofa and drape it over your legs and torso. Your pet inches closer, finding the perfect gaps into which he molds his body so he can rest his chin on your legs. You listen to the winter storm as it picks up intensity. The whistling winds and the pelts of snow that land on the roof create a percussive beat. The sound is a reminder of how grateful you are to be nestled by the wood stove. You feel both warm and satiated in every possible way. Your body begins to soften like the warm candle wax of the tapered candles that slowly burn down. You relax into a dreamy haze of contentment, just floating, drifting, thoughtless, and letting yourself be captivated by the shadows on the wall from the dancing candle flames. You know you are close to sleep, so you lean forward and blow out the candles. Your pet is already in a deep sleep and does not stir. You settle back into the cushions and watch the silver gray trail of smoke rise from the smoldering orange wicks. Your eyelids feel heavy, and you let them rest on your tired eyes. The fire crackles and pops, and your pet softly snores. You surrender to the beauty of this life that you have created. You let go and embrace the comforts and safety of the chalet on a lake. You relish the softness in your body as it lets go of another day. You float on the softness as if drifting from dream to dream as the next story begins. Windows by the sea. There is a seaside town that is packed with visitors in summer and colored by celebrations and picnics, by fireworks and barbecues, by sun-filled beach days and nighttime dips in the blue marine waters. But on the cusp of fall, the village becomes sleepy and the shops begin to close for the season. As one of the few residents to remain, you enjoy the transition that prepares you for hibernation during the dark winter months. The daylight hours are harder to come by, and the town is cloaked in midnight blue and silvery white during most of the snowy and foggy nights. On nights like this, in the beginning of winter, before an incoming storm, you often walk by the water and relish the sparkling light. Like sparks of hope on a bed of darkness, they soothe you with their magical beauty as they dance as reflections across the water. You are adorned in a warm parka and scarf, and your feet are in boots that grip on the salt that covers the days-old snow that has become sullied by shades of gray and brown. It makes you happy to imagine the fresh coating of white snow, because it will make everything feel new again. The last of autumn's fallen leaves peek through the sparsest of snow patches. The air smells of salt and snow, damp with droplets of a fine mist that tingles the inside of your nose when you take in a deep breath. You walk along the rocky coastline, passing a beach that sits in the cove of a sea wharf and the main sprawl of the town. You watch the stormy waves crash down onto the shore, splashing high with flashes of white, and the lights of the town reflect off the abundant sea foam. The sound of the waves crashing is consistent and soothing, a song that you can always rely on, even in times of change and uncertainty. The certainty of the ocean and the seasons that come and go gives you an inner peace and something to hold on to, something to count on. You balance with each step, appreciating the muscles in your legs that have carried you through so many adventures in this life. While it is easy to take them for granted, in this moment of solitude, you are awash with gratitude for all the functioning parts of your body with all its mechanisms and miraculous functions that keep you alive is but a wonder. You take in a deep breath, feeling as your ribs expand within the snug, downy confines of your winter coat. And then you exhale. And it is a night of magic brought on by the cold moon, a full moon that comes on the longest and darkest of nights all year. While hidden behind a shimmering gray veil of clouds, you make out the softest white glow of the moon that is like an opal light bulb beneath cotton balls that have been stretched thin. A few delicate flurries begin to fall and dance on the misty air around you, and you cannot tell the difference between the melting snowflakes and the cold droplets of mist that touch your face. You walk along the sea wharf and the shops that look out onto the crashing waves. These shops are in historic wooden and brick buildings that have lined the wharf for centuries. In summer, the rentals above the shops and bungalows on the wharf overflow with visitors and tourists. You walk down an untouched lane where the snow is still white and pure. You envision memories of summer and children running through the lane with sparklers erupting and their joyous laughter echoing throughout the caverns made between the low-rise buildings. And now, but a few stray electric candles illuminate the second and third floor windows of permanent residences. The snow comes down more steadily, and you approach the first store. A candy shop with oversized rainbow lollipops in the bay windows and a holiday display of gingerbread homes has existed for centuries. In the quietude of winter, it opens only on the weekends, with holiday offerings like English toffee and panucci and hot chocolate. But in the summers, the saltwater taffy is pulled and tourists line up outside the door, vying for a piece of the warm, colorful, handmade confection. The store has been around so long that the smell of chocolate is soaked in the wooden panels of the old walls. Sometimes you imagine the many eras of visitors, from the Victorian age, the 1950s, the 1980s. Every era was a bit different, but you're most interested in the eras where shoppers were adorned in fanciful attire, shopping for the most beloved candies of the time. The candy shop is about to close, and you open the old door by pressing on a cast iron thumb latch door handle. The door opens and a bell dings to alert your entry. The kind shopkeeper calls out as he comes from the back of the store. You order a hot chocolate with freshly made whipped cream and chocolate shavings. The beverage is prepared with the slow, gentle motions of the elderly owner's hands, and you watch in an almost hypnotic trance. You remove your gloves and place them in your pockets. You feel your face begin to tingle from the warmth of the shop, and you happily exchange money for the sweet elixir. You bring the cup close to your face and taste the light cream while you inhale the rich, chocolatey aroma. The shop owner wishes you a good night, and you step out into the darkness. A gentle wind off the ocean weaves like a ribbon through the old buildings, carrying the snow like a stream of opal glitter caught up in a tide. You let your bare hands feel the delightful experience of the cold snow melting on the tops of them, while your palms remain warmed by the cup of hot cocoa. You sip the beverage, feeling the thick and smooth liquid cascade down your throat. Its viscosity is filling, and your stomach suddenly feels as if it is made of warm, molten wax, and you are warmed from the inside out. You continue down the lane and pass by a 5 and dime shop. The windows are lined with swirling metal displays of postcards with iconic images of the town depicted on them. You suddenly remember greetings being sent or received with a personal handwritten scrawl of someone you love sharing their experiences on holiday. Your mind drifts to past memories that dance upon the hope for future summers spent beneath the hot rays of sun and the sensation of the warm, granular sand beneath your feet. You recall how even the hottest of days are made pleasant by the cool ocean breeze. Those contrasting experiences create a perfect harmony, a perfect balance that optimizes pleasure and comfort. Handmade sandcastles are in the store's window display. These brown fixtures have shutters made of coral-hued seashells and sea glass ornamentations in shades of blue and green and brown. You press a palm against the cold, slick glass and close your eyes for a moment. You imagine what it must be like to live inside a sandcastle. You imagine hearing soft echoes within a conch shell that remind you of the rolling waves of the sea. The sweet smell of decaying seaweed marries the briny aroma of salt water that washes ashore. And you imagine the stories that the sand could tell. For the sand has taken quite a journey through time. Dry grains of sand surrender to the wind and bluster down the shore without the slightest resistance. At times they unify with other granules when the ocean waves lap against the shoreline, and they become wet and heavy. For a moment you imagine what it would be like to surrender to that journey and the majesty of the universe, trusting the guidance as it comes, letting go and floating. You open your eyes and look one last time at the whimsical designs of the sandcastles, born from someone's imagination. Just as all these experiences and sensations are born from your imagination, you finish your hot cocoa before it becomes cold and continue your walk down the lane. You arrive at your favorite antique shop. A headless female mannequin made of ivory fabric dons an elegant burgundy velvet trumpet gown. With a plunging neckline, it exemplifies an era of glamour and style. It is arranged next to another mannequin that dons a black vintage tuxedo with luxurious red velvet trim. These articles have been posed for years, and no buyer has dared to buy them because they have become such permanent scenery in the town. The wardrobe conjures ideas of the magical times once had by the sea, of the long-closed opera house where people used to flock. And you imagine how happy and regal the couple must have felt when wearing this elegant attire. You continue to the last window of the antique shop and see a full-body mirror with an ornate brass frame. Intricate in its design, it looks like metal lace. The mirror has tiny tarnished spots that appear like specks of bronze. And when you look into the mirror, you see yourself as you are, content and bundled from the cold. You see the sparkling white snowflakes dance around you, illuminated by the soft golden glow of a street lamp. You look into your eyes in the mirror and see yourself transform in the coming new year. This mirror shows you something you have longed for and you see it play out as if the mirror is suddenly a movie screen depicting scenes from your own life. You see that your dream is being realized. Perhaps this is a dream you have kept hidden deep within for a long time, too afraid to admit how badly you've wanted it. Perhaps this is something you have worked hard to accomplish and have faced many setbacks. In this depiction of your future, you see yourself in the reflection, wiser, more experienced, and at the place you long to be. Your eyes are relaxed and sparkling. They are smiling, and your lips are in a beaming smile as well. You feel every sensation of hope and appreciation, of gratitude and trust in yourself and in the universe. The hopes you are given are not merely dangled before you as a tease. They are yours to be had, to steer you in a direction towards what you have always yearned for, and to help you evolve and grow. And in the antique mirror of the closed shop on a snowy sea wharf before a new year, you see all that you have known all along. This confirmation soothes you as you continue your walk through the snow that accumulates at a quickening pace. In between the 18th century wooden structures, you see the white caps of the midnight blue waves. The sky looks like a dark gray canvas, brightened by the white snow that dances feverishly above the vast ocean. You walk past a quaint restaurant that has existed for centuries on the wharf, the owners prideful for their freshest of offerings from the sea. The business has been run by generations of the same family, operating like the same long lineage of the lobstermen and fishermen of the village. The business just runs in the family. It is nearing closing time, and you peer inside to see one couple sitting in the glow of candlelight. A bottle of red wine sits between them. Their two glasses are half full, and the amber glow of the flickering flame makes the wine appear translucent and plum-hued. The red and white checkered tablecloths and wicker baskets of bread are familiar images that conjure memories of family gatherings and dinner celebrations. For longer than you can even remember. Again, tonight's walk offers a glimpse of what feels timeless, consistent through the most uncertain of times. You feel as if you were enveloped with a warm embrace, brought on by nostalgia and the simplest of pleasures. For it is the smell of home or a nourishing meal, the sound of a loved one's voice, or the melodic music of the crashing waves, the familiar sensation of a warm beverage cascading down your throat, or the cold tingle from melting snowflakes on your lips, or the beauty of a blanket of fresh snow and the honeyed glow of a fire that bring a comfort and sense memory that runs deep. These simple things soothe you and relax you and make you feel the comforts of life. And these simple things have soothed generations that came before you and will continue to do so for generations to come. Your walk leads you past a candle shop, and the smells of cinnamon and balsam fir and fresh baked sugar cookies waft through the cracks of the closed door and spill out into the nippy night's air. You take in a deep breath, appreciating how the air is warmed through your nose before it reaches your lungs. You enjoy every fragrant note that hits the air, and you look inside to admire the handmade candles. Arranged in tiers of varying heights and rainbow colors, the hand-carved candles have ornate ribbons of wax that weave around the thick pillars like rolling waves of pastel stripes. From indigo to emerald green, from pastel shades like peach and buttery yellow, to red raspberry and amethyst, the candles represent a kaleidoscope of colors. And the candle in the center is as wide and tall as the trunk of a young tree and reminds you of an enchanted forest. Your thoughts drift to the candle that awaits you at home, purchased at the store and designed in your favorite color palette and inspired by your favorite scene from nature. The thought of home makes you realize how tired you feel, and you decide to return to the warm refuge that awaits. Before you venture home, you stand in the center of the lane and look up to really take in the magnificence of the snow. You focus on the intricate designs of each flake, backlit by a street lamp. The flakes are also backlit by a string of white lights that dangle from the edge of the roof of a nearby cottage. The wind whistles softly, and you imagine hearing the joyous voices traveling on it, from sailors returning home, from seafarers welcoming the discovery of land after long nights at sea. You feel the same sense of relief, knowing that your home is but a few doors down and waiting for your return. Your feet crunch on the freshly fallen snow, leaving footprints that lead to a local bakery. Your apartment is located below, and you open the door to hear it shut behind you with a soft creak. You stand in the foyer and peer into the second glass door that opens into the bakery. Your mornings are often met with the smell of coffee and fresh baked goods, from muffins and croissants to artisan loaves of sourdough bread. The interior of the shop feels like a second home that your memory now brings to life with visions of sunny mornings as the shop is cloaked in a vibrant yellow haze and village regulars line up for their coffee and baked goods. You can almost smell the fresh baked bread. You take in a deep breath and exhale, and your attention turns towards the carpeted stairs and the sapphire blue rug that cascades down the white wooden steps like a waterfall. The white paneled walls of the stairwell are adorned with black and white photos of the bakery and sea wharf in various seasons. One of the photos depicts a wintry scene, a blizzard of decades past, and it feels as though tonight could replicate the many snowstorms through history that the wharf has survived. The steps creak as you carefully climb each one. They are narrow and steep, but you float along with the familiarity that comes from years of living in the same place. This familiarity is comforting, as is the tone of every squeak that sings out into the stillness of the night. You know every nook, every cranny, the feeling of every texture as you run your hands along the smooth alabaster banister. You come to the top of the stairs and the door that leads to your apartment. You remove a key from your pocket and feel a tingling sensation in your fingers, brought on by the warmth of the steam-powered radiator that clanks in the hallway. You unlock the door and it opens into a lofty apartment. You remove your boots and leave them on a nautical doormat that depicts a sailboat in a cove on a summer's day. You enter the apartment and remove your coat and hang it to dry on an ivory coat tree. The apartment is modern and cozy, yet retains the character and charm of an old building. Wainscoting wraps around the main living room that is decorated with soothing hues of blues and greens. You turn on a Tiffany lamp, and the room is cast in a soft teal light. At times in this apartment, with the sound of the ocean and the color scheme and decor, you feel as if you are out at sea. You often fall asleep and dream of voyages beneath the stars, led by the light of the moon. A long strand of silver-white lights is draped around a loft that extends over the living room. Many nights your eyes become bleary before bedtime, and your attention goes to these lights. You imagine they are stars that shimmer above you, and that the interior of your apartment is an extension of the nautical beauty of life on a sea wharf. You start a fire in a fireplace that is centuries old and was renovated before you moved in. Like your walk through the wharf, like the shops of the village, and the energy of the town, you are constantly drifting between the historic authenticity and the modern improvements. The kindling catches, and you throw a log onto the fire and then sit on a velvet sofa. The sofa is plush and its elegant back and armrests curve like ocean waves. You sink into its deep cushions, watching the snow fall outside of the bay window that looks out on the neighboring buildings of the wharf and out on the ocean. Now near whiteout conditions, you barely make out the twinkling holiday lights strung on various buildings and the glow of the street lamps. There is an end table constructed of gray driftwood that sits before the sofa. Your attention turns to the hand-carved candle that sits in the middle of it. You admire the intricate details of the ribbons and curves that now bask in the glow of the fire. This candle is an emblem of the sense of community you feel, of supporting the local artisans and being part of a special place that has existed throughout time. The fire crackles and pops, and as it softens into magenta embers, you feel you are becoming more and more tired. Before you fall asleep on the sofa, you rise and retreat to your bedroom for the night. You climb up the spiral stairs, as if rounding the inside of a clock tower, counting each step as you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You arrive at the landing, and your feet land on a plush, furry white rug. There's a skylight above the loft that is now covered in a thick blanket of snow. Come morning, the sun will illuminate it, and you will watch as the snow slowly melts and a blue sky reveals itself again. You flip a switch on the wall and all the lights turn off, and you appreciate the dark, tranquil sanctuary of your loft. You remove your clothes and change into warm flannel pajamas that smell freshly laundered when you raise the soft and weather-worn fabric to your nose. They comfort you and accompany memories spent hunkering down in the winter months and enjoying the coziness of your home. You peel back the downy, thick white comforter and cool white sheets that remind you of fresh snow. You sink into the bed and the pillows form around your neck, supporting your head and offering you a place where you can always be your authentic self, where you can surrender all that cannot be solved today and hand it over to your subconscious mind to work it all out in the dreams that come. You listen to the patter of snow and the whistling wind. You hear the faint sounds of the ocean waves that respond to the pull of the moon and the intensity of the storm. And you surrender like a grain of sand caught in the tide, like a snowflake gliding on the winter's wind, like a seafarer returning home, floating and drifting between the safety of your historic home and the healing dreams that await. You are blessed. You are safe. You are warm and at peace with all that you cannot control, and with the magical power of choice that you have been given each day and each night to choose what is best for you. Tonight you choose rest. You choose nurturing and respite from the storm outside and the storms that come uninvited. You remain calm within. You remain at ease with the wisdom that this too shall pass, and you will thrive, letting go to sleep or drifting into the next story. The Ice Palace. The snowflakes fall around you, individualized and the size of small coins that glisten. They are so big and bountiful. You may see the unique lace-like and lattice designs in each one, as a cluster of flakes fall upon your nose and lips and melt instantly. And each snowflake to melt upon you is a chilly yet refreshing reminder that you are alive. It brings you to the moment. It feels so good to be in the moment. You are adorned in a hand-knit scarf in your favorite patina that billows in the breeze behind you as you walk along hills that float like glittering ivory waves beneath the late day's sun. You have heard of the Ice Palace for many years and received the invitation to visit, something coveted and desired by many. But it was you who received the call, and you answered it, and you realized how precious it is to receive an opportunity and what it requires to believe that you are worthy of it, that you are worthy when the universe rises up to deliver things you have desired and hoped for and worked for. And on this journey, on a wintry day, somewhere in time, you can hear the guidance within you, the intuitive voice that protected you before you even understood language as a small child, and you were in tune with every feeling and sixth sense. So too, right now, you are guided by this voice that calls you like an internal GPS. As you continue the ascent up the snowy hills lined by evergreen trees that are dusted like powdery sugar donuts beneath a layer of snow, you feel like you belong. You feel welcome. A white fluffy rabbit, like a puffy cotton ball, hops across your path, pausing to catch your gaze, and you lock eyes in a mutual respect and acknowledgement that you are both alive and present and belong here, as if all the living beings of this landscape have been informed of your arrival and to welcome you. You walk along a babbling silvery blue brook that bubbles and flows beneath a thin layer of ice that acts like a glass topper. You inhale the fragrance of balsam fir and pine, and the cool slate smell of wet snow. Crunching along upon the snow, you find your balance with each step as you walk towards a clearing in the trees, ascending further up until you see the Ice Palace. You come to an abrupt stop, so incredibly awestruck by the sight of this ice castle that is ornately designed and looms above. And beneath the evening sky, as the sun begins to set behind it, you may see the ice walls are changing every second, from rich shades of magenta and amber to deeper hues of plum and azure. While the castle is severe the peaks of the roof an outline jutting against the landscape. It is unique and yet still one with the environment that colors it. And you realize in this harmonious moment that you are allowed as well to be fierce and unique and still be one with all that is around you. You can just be you, your own individual self, while also being a part of something bigger. And as night falls, you continue to climb the last hill that leads you to the entryway of the ice castle. You approach the entryway and are met by a butler who opens the door with a warm smile and greets you by name. "The palace is yours, and I am at your service. Please feel free to change at your leisure," he responds, greeting you with a tray of your favorite hot beverage. He gestures to clothing hung in the foyer. And the floors are like icy cerulean marble, covered by plush ivory rugs. You remove your coat and boots and change into a velvet self-warming housecoat and plush slippers that are marked with your initials. You run your fingers along the embroidered monogram, feeling so welcome and content, before taking the hot beverage from the tray and following the butler on a tour. You step upon the plush rugs, feeling the heat that radiates from them and your attire that magically warms the air around you. And you sip the beverage, feeling the warm and intoxicating elixir coat your lips and your palate and bring you to a deeper sense of calm and relaxation with this simple luxury. The butler guides you to a library where books are stacked upon white birch shelves that are sunken within the ice walls. There is a settee alongside the fire, and you are invited to take a seat and enjoy the fire, which you watch dance inside the middle of the room, so that everywhere in this grand library the fire may be seen. The butler explains that you may enjoy the light meal that has been prepared for you and is waiting on the table alongside the satin settee. You make yourself comfortable and lift a silver tray cover to reveal a plate of your favorite foods. The wind and snow whips around the ice palace And through the windows, you may see the snow continuing to fall outside as a blizzard moves in. Feeling so full and nurtured, so eased into a state of relaxation as the fire crackles and pops and casts an orange glow upon the ice walls. This palace is like a chameleon, constantly adapting to the change in weather and lighting and hours of the day that paint new hues upon it. And you appreciate this adaptation, this going with the flow, how much you aspire to this fluidity in your own life. To adapt to changes rather than to fight them. Just letting go. Feeling so pampered and content. The butler comes to greet you and guide you to your room to retire for the night. You rise and follow him, walking through the foyer and ascending upon a moving escalator of ice blocks. When you step upon them, you are surprised that your slippers mold into the ice with a grip so strong you cannot fall, locking you in place as you ascend to the second floor, gliding higher and higher up, feeling as if you are floating on a cloud as you go up and up before reaching the second floor. As you step off the escalator, your slippers now released, you look down upon the room and the chandelier that hangs above the vast space below. You have never been in a home so grand and so expansive, and you take in this grandeur and feeling of wealth. Allow yourself to feel rich, to feel blessed, to feel the bounty of this moment, as this experience will soon become a memory that you may return to whenever you so desire. So you may connect with and radiate these feelings of abundance and prosperity. Waiting for you with patience, the butler continues when you are ready, guiding you to your room for the night, pulling back velvet curtains in your favorite color that expand to the ceiling, which rises more than double your height. And as you enter inside, there is a rush of warm air brought on by the fire that is set behind a canopy bed adorned with rich and heavy tapestry drapes. Shadows dance like delicate fingers, creating shadow puppets on the ceiling and the walls from the flickering fire. There is a massage table where a massage therapist waits for you. The room smells of essential oils, of balsam fir and winter aromas. And the butler says you may ring a bell by the bed if you need anything. You smile and nod as he leaves, and the massage therapist greets you, asking what type of healing massage you would most enjoy. And you let her know whatever it is you need before she guides you to a changing room and leaves you alone to disrobe. And you do, finding a white cotton wrap that you drape around your body as you return to the main part of the suite. The therapist helps you upon the massage table, and you lie down, feeling the warmth of the heated table beneath you is like a warm body of water. And you rest your face on a pillow, looking down upon the exposed ice floor. She begins to work her strong hands and fingers into the knots and places of tension in your body. And you feel your muscles begin to melt like soft wax in a newly lit candle. Keeping your eyes open on the icy floor below, she continues to knead your muscles and back as you notice images begin to appear below you. It's as if looking into a magic mirror where you see yourself in this moment, reflecting back, but then an overlay of an early memory appears. It is a memory of when you were happy, when you had an idea about something that you wanted to see happen, and it did. And you see yourself now, your reflection upon this past memory, as you take it in and smile. All the while, your body is being released of tension with the strong hands of the massage therapist. Inhaling and exhaling, you just let go. Your eyes now focus as the memory begins to melt, creating a puddle below before freezing again in a flash. And now, instead of the past memory, you see something in the future. You see yourself doing something you have longed to do for a very long time. Perhaps this is something you have never told anyone about before. Perhaps it is so precious to you It is so important and so longed for that it felt safer being kept locked within. But now you see this dream released and coming to fruition in the movie that plays before you on the ice floor below the massage table. And you feel almost euphoric. You feel the unique part of you. You feel that you are enough, because you are enough. You deserve this. You have the right to make this happen. And with that, you surrender and close your eyes, still sensing the dancing shadows from the fire that are like silhouettes upon your eyelids. Your body now relaxes even more as the therapist presses into all the nooks and crannies of your body that have been unreachable, letting it all go, feeling so tired and heavy and at ease, feeling so blessed, so relaxed. Your body now covered in a fragrant oil that brings you deeper into a sense of feeling good and feeling tranquil. Your body is so warm right now. And she begins to finish by running her fingers through your hair, massaging your scalp as a tingling sensation courses all over your head and face, traveling down your spine like a gentle electric course of energy. How good it feels to be you. And she pats your head and brings your hair back, so at ease. The final gentle touch is bringing you to a state of sleep. You take a few moments inhaling and exhaling, so ready for bed. She helps you rise and brings you to your bed, where you may nestle down beneath the heavy, heated comforter. The weight of it makes you feel secure as you are tucked in for the night. And in the canopy bed, you may look straight up through the ceiling, a ceiling of translucent ice, and the wind has whipped the snow off its surface as the moon above cuts through the clouds in a silvery glow. And you feel connected to the vast, infinite universe that is out there, that is part of you, and you are a part of. The fire continues to burn and crackle and pop, as the wind continues to whip around the ice palace, and the snow falls upon this dreamy winter escape. And you are so ready to fall asleep right now, letting go of my voice, letting go of this experience, feeling so safe in what would be considered a challenging climate, because it is possible to find safety wherever you go. And this possibility gives you a great sense of ease and peace of mind, because you are so resilient and adaptable, because you are never given more than you can handle. And this precious invitation, and once in a lifetime invitation, has only emphasized this further. And with this hope that burns within you, like the flames of the fire, you are ready to drift towards healing dreams of hope and peace. You are free to treat your dreamscape as a blank canvas, with your desires like paintbrushes dipping into watercolors, flowing out of you from your heart center and your imagination. You are free to let go of my voice and walk across the magical bridge between your waking life and the sleep that awaits you. Or you may listen to the last story in this collection, Snowy Island. The daylight hours are short, and you are aboard a ferry that is traveling to the harbor of a remote barrier island. The waters are gray as white crests of breaking waves of the bay are blending with the gently falling white snow. You are the only passenger on this ferry, and the small off-season boat will deliver you to your own special island and cottage. And with each lapping wave, the ferry gently rocks back and forth, back and forth. And though your body just relaxes and goes with the flow, deep within, you feel a grounded stillness. You feel calm and at ease, and a warm glow of appreciation for the solitude that awaits you on this bucolic island. Inhaling the fragrance of the salty air and the smell of fresh snow as the ferry continues rocking through the waves towards the harbor. The sky is a purple gray, and the winds outside howl from the impending snowstorm. But inside the ferry, you bundle in the last bit of warmth from the radiator that rests between you
and the fairy windows. And the dry, hot air is making you feel so toasty. You feel almost too warm. You peer out the window and see a single bird that has not left for the winter, soaring before the boat as it begins to dock in the harbor. And the harbor is quiet. The wooden planks of the pier are speckled with white snow as the flakes are beginning to stick. The boat docks, and the ferry captain opens the door, offering a gentle smile and shared moment on this mystical night on the bay. You disembark, feeling the first few flakes of snow fall on your face, and feeling so grateful for the warm winter boots and ankle-length parka that wraps you like a sleeping bag on a cold night at camp. A soft scarf wraps around your face as you continue to walk, taking in the serenity on the wooden pathway. You continue through the woods of this enchanted barrier island, where a wooden pathway leads you from the harbor side to the seaside, where your cottage awaits, and you inhale the fresh air, hearing the gentle ocean crashing in the distance, taking in these last moments of freedom before the storm encourages you to hibernate overnight. As you continue, the blanket of snow on the path is much thicker, and you spot the footprints of a deer. Continuing along the wooden planks of this boardwalk, you are now in the thicker part of the forested island, and you approach the deer who made these tracks, knowing that this time of year, these animals that remain are your only neighbors on the island. And this female deer you approach is very young, and she is unafraid of you as she steps forward to sniff you. You are calm and reach out a hand, taking this moment to bond with this graceful animal, and in doing so, you feel as though you are further bonding with the island. You are able to pet the snow-speckled muzzle of the deer a few times before she prances away, heading into the woods towards her den. And so you continue to walk, with each foot now crunching in the snow. You are feeling a sense of relief. This solitude has been something you have been seeking. And here it is, all for you right now. The smell of the pine trees around you feels almost festive, with the air so clean and fresh as you inhale and exhale. You feel the wind shifting against your face, and as you approach the ocean side, you decide that rather than turn towards your home, you'll take a brief, invigorating walk along the beach, So you step down the snowy stairs of the boardwalk, approaching the sand as heavier flakes fall from the darkening sky. Walking in the snowy sand, you see off in the distance where the drifts of sand are now blending with drifts of snow. The golden light sand and dancing clean white snow are putting on a show for you. A blanket of sparkling iridescent white snowflakes covers the swaying seagrass, and you run out onto the sand, feeling your lungs fill with the cold air. And you are inspired to run and jump on the drifts. The ocean is an aqua gray behind you as large waves come crashing down into the sand. And you sprint in this freedom where no one is watching, and you may exert all your energy in this mind-tingling experience of being alive, of being healthy and strong, spinning and tasting the snow on your tongue, so cool and invigorating. You cannot help but smile in gratitude that this is all yours right now. And even laughter escapes your snow-kissed lips because you feel so good. And even if you wanted, you could fall into the snow and make a snow angel, or continue to run up and down the drifts. Whatever you most desire, you are now able to do. Finally, coming to a seat, just resting to catch your breath. In spite of the cold, you feel warmed from the inside, staying to watch a few more waves crash into the sand. And some whitecaps are breaking far out at sea. In communion with a coming storm, the sea is turbulent. You are ready to head home, feeling fulfilled as a complacent tiredness takes over. Your body suddenly feeling quite heavy and ready to lie down. And so you go up the steps to the boardwalk, counting each step as you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Coming to the wooden walkway, you turn right towards your home. Just a few more paces, and you see the familiar hand-painted sign with your name decorated upon it. Feeling so good to be home. And your sea cottage is nestled within pine trees and cattails and seagrass and bamboo that form a canopy around the path that leads to your front door. The sky is getting quite dark, and you have arrived to your nestled cottage just in time. You continue to the front door, which is whimsical with its colorful stained glass window, a kaleidoscope in your favorite colors. You shake the snow off your boots and dust the snow off your coat before bending down and picking up the logs and kindling you kept dry beneath the roof of your wraparound porch. You open the door and set the wood on the ceramic tiled floor of the entryway, taking off your winter layers, slipping out of your boots and socks as you find your plush slippers and let your cool toes find warmth within them. Gathering a warm Angora sweater with a belt that you wrap around your person, walking into the dimly lit living room. The ceiling is high and expansive in this beach cottage, with white painted walls and beams. And all around the living room are photos of you in different stages of life, enjoying the same beach. As a child in the sand during a hot summer day, with those you love, friends, family, pets, whoever has made you most happy. This cottage is the keeper of your best happy moments and dreams, keeping the space for you to create more dreams for the future. And this home has numerous grand bay windows that look out on the snow falling on the beach and ocean behind the house, the waves crashing, darkness taking over, so only the occasional reflections on the water and of the sparkling snowflakes become visible. Soon there will be whiteout conditions, but by then you will be peacefully asleep, dreaming through the storm. The wind is whipping around, and you are feeling so warm and cozy inside. You carry the wood to the opposite side of the room, where the gleaming iridescent white marble fireplace awaits you. And you take the lighter and kindling with ease and expertise. And with little effort, the fire is going, warming you and crackling. Now you are feeling so tired and heavy, and you look towards the oversized plush sofa that awaits. The soft lighting of the fire and the warm colored lamps around the room make for an inviting time to just take a nap, feeling so safe and cozy indoors as the storm increases its intensity outside. Knowing this time is all yours to bask in the orange glow of the fire, feeling wistful and dreamy, feeling this connection to all the great people who came before you and habitually sought warmth from a fire. And you light a few candles on the mantle to add a few more intoxicating fragrances in the room. Eucalyptus or baking spices, whatever it is you most enjoy right now. Laying down on the warm sofa and cuddling under the fluffy throw blanket in your favorite color, you look onto the flames just flickering, creating shadows in a gentle dance in front of you so serene and hypnotic, watching the occasional ember float towards the screen in front of the fire, crackling, burning, as though you are still on the ferry. Your body feels as if you are gently rocking yourself back and forth, back and forth. Your eyes so tired, just letting your lids close heavily down, making the warmth of the fire all the more tangible, the scents in the air all the more noticeable, tucking the velvety blanket beneath your chin and feeling a tingling bliss and serenity from the tips of your warm toes to the crown of your head, tingling as each nerve ending is a light and a glow. Breathing in and breathing out. Right now, feeling good, going deeper and deeper within, to where the most important parts of you, your very essence, is existing in stillness, in alignment with the best parts of you right now. Know that any time you are in your waking life, need a respite, you can come to this memory and experience to find your calm, to find your bliss, as the wind and snow whip around while the ocean crashes against the shore. The sea just continues to do what it does. No matter what storm comes along, the waves still come in and out. This continuity of being is something that you have within you as well, to withstand the storms of your life and to continue being true to your nature and your authentic self. You have a purpose in this life, and you are doing all you need to do, using this inner compass to guide you. And right now, you may be guided deeper and deeper down towards sleep, towards ease, towards respite, and how quickly things may change to be easier, to be calmer. And so too, like the stormy night, the storm will pass, and you will find calm, ease, finding surrender. If anyone were to witness this moment, or you were to rise above and peer into the scene from the outside looking in, you would see the soft and sleeping face of a person who is so very happy and relaxed, safe, and snuggled into a beautiful place for respite. And you will fall into a sleep with dreams of a wintry adventure, imagining the beautiful white blanket of snow that will be there come morning, like a fresh start and a new beginning, like a clean slate, waiting for you to leave your footprints, to leave your mark. And it makes all of right now easy to let go, because you can unwind and relax. You can drift asleep and do all that you need to do to heal and recover from the day, and still have the great fortune of a new day ahead, with more adventures waiting for you as you let go right now, drifting down, 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 letting your consciousness drift away with a howling wind into the night, traveling, finding rest and ease. I am going to count you down to this place of restorative and beautiful dream-filled sleep. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Finding release, finding peace, finding sleep.
It's time to dream away.